Welcome to Colney Talk Podcast.
Hello, everyone. Hope you're having a lovely weekend. Welcome to another episode of Colney Talk Podcast, a bite-sized show. I'm your host, Alex. First-time guest. Happy to have you here. And to my returning listeners, thanks for joining me. On this bite-sized show, I talk a little bit about the Arsenal game and then pick out my top 3 Arsenal players who I think were great in the game, and one player I consider the odd one who just had a poor game or not good enough who just needs to be called out. Arsenal smashed Bournemouth at Vitality Stadium. A wonderful victory with some worry, but a lot of relief. We were all anticipating what the lineup would be given how grim the news were about players not practicing or sounding fit for the game. But it was a good game. It was a good surprise. It was a good surprise having every starter available except Martinelli. Hopefully we get him back soon. It was a feel-good experience for one. The team doing a classy thing to lift Harvard's morale. 2, the away fans once again give us a home game feel. Like, wow. The commentators were surely working to keep their voices in the game, but I loved every bit of the sounds coming through. It was special. And 3, another clean sheet to the victory. Really amazing. In this game, Arsenal played different styles. Surely we can see the theme being a very unpredictable team. While we know their record, that this isn't a team that looks out of place, Bournemouth that is, it wasn't just an easy run over at the start. And that's how we were, Arsenal that is, to get the feel of the game, feeling their way through. It was somewhat of a slow start, but that's okay. To me, it's a different style and perhaps the strategy as such. Arsenal played off the ball and mostly regained the ball within their defensive third positions and were efficient for the most part. Playing without the ball, as unusual, made the Gunners defensively engaged. Bournemouth were pressing well and they were man-to-man to the middle of the field. They looked to gain advantage, picking up the ball and moving in our half. Thankfully, we didn't, succumb to that kind of weakness. I think that dictated the tempo of the game, calling for more control on Arsenal's part, accuracy in passes, and more importantly, good decision-making, working through the press and not getting forced to play in a certain way. So that was a very good game plan that they had to adapt. All that didn't happen in the first half, though. Bournemouth played to their strengths, giving Arsenal a good challenge for the most part in that first half. Bournemouth were not yet challenged in places we expected to do so, but it slowly got there, and not without hustle plays from our attackers like Eddie dropping back to keep the ball in front of us. Havertz getting into quite a lot of duels. He was not shy at all in this game. Arsenal seemed to find their rhythm with crisp passes in the box, but the final responses were not there yet. So again, this is just the team trying to get their way through. Bournemouth were on their toes with Jesus being a handful. He's just a chaos master, and I just love it on that right side. The big chances started with him, and from him came our first goal, a header for the net by Jesus, but he hit the bar and then landed also perfectly for Saka, and he just had to slot it right in with his header. I think that was the first header from Saka, I think. Well, it was a good one. It was an interesting breakthrough at the 17th minute of the game, but after that, things started opening up slightly. Just had to keep working it because Bournemouth, as I said, proved tough in their own right. It was still a game that they were trying to gain something and fight for, as they should. It was all now for Arsenal to get right into game control and management in dangerous areas. But while that was still going through, it was really a block party in Arsenal's, defensive structure. Big Gabby and Saliba both had very great goal-saving blocks. It then turned into a defending committee, having main man Rice and Zinchenko disrupting a lot of their drive trajectory. They were rock solid, denying Bournemouth any real chance, not intended to make it sound unusual for Arsenal in this formation or in this way of approaching the game. But you just have to understand that this is what they were going to be facing with this team, and Arsenal had to understand where to turn it on more for attacks. And as it got closer towards the end of the first half, I made a note of that as well, that it seemed that the players were somewhat reserving their energy for the second half. Not like they did, but it just felt like that. That's how it looked until Eddie Nketiah gave us another chance drawing a penalty, which gave us a 2-0, lead into the half. Start of the second, Arsenal getting into the opponent's box methodically, and in the real early parts of that, we got into another penalty situation, and that was a special moment. This is one of the good feel of the game. After seeing Odegaard and Saka tagging each other with the ball when it comes to take it for the spot kick for penalty, it was such a pleasant surprise seeing the ball handed over to Havertz. The fans and the players were excited as much as we were, nervous a little bit, and just really so happy that he scored. It meant a lot. That was such a classy thing from the captain and the message they were sending. So that was superb. And with a 3-0 lead, it was game management. We started getting the subs in. The team were focused on keeping the clean sheet. Let me talk a little bit about Raya playing a crucial part initiating our attacks. His active involvement in the ball distribution was the definition of Arsenal's strategy, I think. His successful passes and risks in positions of receiving and playing the ball, it gave Arsenal that edge going forward, which we did have anyway, but it's worth mentioning. And by quickly releasing the ball to Rice and Odegaard, Bournemouth were easily opened up in the back, and that also enabled to launch into attack mode and getting those transitions fluidly. I like the way Raya read the game. Mistakes were quickly tightened up at the back, so it was such a nice, tight-knit, effective play on defensive structure, and having Raya, slot right in as well to do that. We kept control of the game, bringing Tomiyasu and Reece for extra cover. I didn't like that we kept Saka a minute too long in the game until he was forced out, hobbling up with that injury. Fingers crossed. I just hope that it's not bad. We've said this so many times. He needs cover. He needs cover like yesterday. The rest of the subs got in and gave some good spark. Smith Rowe is growing in confidence, and I like that he is such an exciting player when he's in the game. He had 2 incredible chances to put his name on the score sheet. It's coming, and I'm sure he's feeling good about it. At this point, it was a one-sided match. Arsenal had this game to their will, and sure enough, we got the final dagger of the game from a nice set-piece header from Benny White, and it was such an incredible way to cap the game to the final whistle. Well done to the boys. It was such a great game to watch. Straight to my top performers. First player, Eddie. He worked hard. I mean, he's just a hard worker, but just when you have your front man dropping deep to pick up the ball and create chances or make things happen, he's really working it. He's making it happen. He's trying to make something happen. And he did that. He was resilient as often when he came deep to pick up the ball. Only thing missing was his chances to shoot or score, because a couple of times they were blocked. Gave Arsenal the second chance with the penalty. I loved his brilliant turns to drive in the box. Several situations in attack wouldn't have happened at all without him. So that is big credit to Eddie Nketiah. Second player, Zinchenko. He was technically good, as he ever was. He's an interception, diffused Bournemouth's attack, building up. Combining with Rice in the middle and providing service to Havertz was key to keeping the midfield effective, and linking up with Jesus was just organic as it comes on the left. He had a chance to score, but it was tight, really tight. And also, from him, I like how they're managing his minutes to just keep him fit, and he sure did look fit in this game very well. Third and final of the 3, Odegaard. His quick feet and passes were dangerous as always for us in the game, as we see. His cross gave us the first goal. His positioning when we were pressed in our half were very precise. He had another good performance, especially when it came to game control and management. This is the maturity you're seeing with the team in making smart decisions in certain moments to really affect the game and help control it in general. Odegaard had a very good performance helping control the game, and it was good for him. Big shout out to Odegaard for deciding Havertz to take the penalty. What a captain. What a quick way to think on his feet to make that decision and kind of like do something within the game for this player in the game. That's amazing. So, great thinking on his part. Special mentions though to Jesus and Big Gabby. They were also great in this game. They played a heck of a game, really did a lot to contribute for this, left side of the flank. From a defensive standpoint, I just liked how Big Gabby stood tall against all the pressures that were coming in from Bournemouth. For this game, no odd one. I mean, there's no surprise there. The team played really well. The way that they managed and played very well out of possession, it changed nothing for the team. It felt like this is something they've already been doing in the past, and they just looked the part. So that was good. So credit all around. I was really proud of the team because of their approach to the game, different playing style, and very effective. Proud of the away fans. Oh my goodness. And how they drew us well into the game. I really liked Reece and Emil continuing to grow in rhythm, stacking up meaningful minutes as the other competitions start coming in fast. What a way to round off the weekend. It was just an amazing game. So with that, folks, I'll leave you here for now. Please share and subscribe. Talk to you all later. Take care.